Hey guys, what is going on? So since the NFL season is starting soon, I want to do these top 10 lists. So I'm hopefully going to do it for every position. But today, the first one we're doing, it's going to be top 10 running backs heading into the 2020 NFL season. So for these top 10 lists, I'm not just basing it off the 2019 season. I guess I'm basing it off kind of the past 2 seasons, maybe the past 3 seasons, but also what I think is going to happen in 2020. Like, obviously teams change from season to season, which might make me rank a player higher now than I would have at the end of the 2019 season, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of just mixing what has happened in the past with what I believe is going to happen in the future. Alright, so let's get started with this list. Coming in at number 10, we have Aaron Jones. He led the league with 16 rushing touchdowns last season. He had over 1,000 rushing yards as well. He's a pretty good pass catcher. But the thing is, Green Bay has so many running backs. Like, yeah, Aaron Jones is going to be the running back one, but there are also other guys that are definitely going to get snaps, so that's why he's number 10 on my list. At number 9, I have Josh Jacobs. So Jacobs had an outstanding rookie season last year. He had over 1,000 rushing yards, and I expect him to have an even better season this year. If he could just get some more catches out of the backfield and become a little bit of a better pass catcher, he could move up a lot on this list after next season. At number 8 on my list, I have Dalvin Cook. He had a really good season last year. He had 13 rushing touchdowns. He was catching passes out of the backfield. Coming in at number 7 on my list, I have Joe Mixon. So he's coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons, and I'm really interested to see what happens to his production once, Joe Burrow comes in and takes over at quarterback this season. That Bengals offense wasn't great, but Mixon was still putting up numbers, so I feel like Burrow coming in is only going to help him. At number 6 on my list, I have Nick Chubb. He had almost 1,500 rushing yards last season. He was probably the best member of that Browns offense that, really didn't live up to the hype, but I can see him being a top 5 running back this upcoming season. Coming in at number 5 on my list, I have Alvin Kamara. Last season obviously wasn't his best, but he was playing with a torn MCL. And some other lists might have guys like Kamara lower because, his production wasn't as good as it usually was, but that's because he was playing with a torn MCL. And like I said, my list is about players heading into 2020. Hopefully, he will be healthy heading into 2020, and his numbers, should return to what they usually are. He's just a player who's unstoppable on the field, catching passes out of the backfield, so dynamic when rushing the ball, especially because he can make everyone miss, and yeah, that's why I have him at number 5. At number 4 on my list, I have Derrick Henry. Led the league in rushing yards last season with 1,540, and was just unstoppable in the playoffs, running through grown men, just couldn't be tackled. At number 3, I have Ezekiel Elliott. And let me just say, I was very close to putting him at number 2, but the player I have at number 2 I feel like is a little bit more of a dynamic player and a little bit better of a pass catcher out of the backfield. But listen, Zeke has really never had a bad season. He's been in the league for a couple years, and it just seems like he always performs. At number 2 on my list, I have Saquon Barkley. He's another player who didn't have a great season last year, but that's because he was injured. He was out 3 games with a high ankle sprain, but he didn't seem 100% when he returned, although he still managed to get just over 1,000 rushing yards last season. The season before, which was his rookie season, he had crazy numbers, over 2,000 all-purpose yards, and the Giants' offensive line back then wasn't as good as it is now, even though, it's not really great. But listen, they drafted Andrew Thomas in the first round, so hopefully it will be better. And coming in at number 1, the best running back in the league last season, Christian McCaffrey. Over 1,000 rushing yards last year, over 1,000 receiving yards last year, 19 total touchdowns. Just can do it all. Alright guys, that's all I got for this video. Make sure to drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Peace out.